It basically just says, gives you some instructions on empty, clean, and dry.
Yeah.
You know, so if you go to Republic, the recyclingsimplified.com, you'll see the same video. Plus, there's other videos on the website as well. But it's like I said, it's a short little video of how properly to handle your recyclables before you put it in the bin.
If those are on the website, we can share the links for
Yeah.
everybody afterwards.
Yeah, recyclingsimplified.com, so you can hook it onto the website and people can go and take a look at it. So, the gentleman back there, he had a question first.
You don't pick up in the rural areas as far as recycling. I don't live in the city.
Right.
Okay? So it's a two-part question. Are there any plans with your company to expand that for there? And if
Well-
not, do you charge to have us bring it up to you?
If you are a citizen of Princeton, you can bring your recyclables to the transfer station for free. Okay, if you're a citizen of Princeton. Outside Princeton, I think it's
I live in the township.
yeah, it's a small fee if you live outside of Princeton city limits, but you can take it to the recycling center, and that, like I said, it doesn't cost very much. I'm talking, a few bucks and that.
I've been in there twice this week and we just drove across the scale and green light, and nobody asked a thing.
Do you live in Princeton?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're.
But they don't know that.
No, but you should. You should. The scale operator was probably yelling at you through the microphone. Stop! Stop! You need to stop!
We
Yeah.
saw a green light, we thought that
Yeah,
was.
That's for. Yeah, no. The green light and red light are mainly for trucks coming in, so they don't hit each other on the scale. So yeah, you're supposed to stop at the scale and show your ID.
Well, are you supposed to go across the scale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are supposed to go across the scale and go talk to the lovely lady inside the building, through the window, say hey, so, yeah.
It seems to me that this goes way beyond this presentation, which is a wonderful one, thank you very much, by the way, but we need to change the way things are made and sold. For instance, I buy chips, I buy crackers, and they're always in a plastic bag. I mean, you can bring
Yeah.
your own bags to the store to put your groceries in when you're done, so you don't take a plastic bag, but you can't change what the food you're eating comes in.
Hey, we got the sound.
Instead of buying a
Step one.
box instead, because I
Yeah.
thought a little box is more recycled than a plastic bag. Inside was a plastic bag. So we need to lean on manufacturers to change I don't know how.
Yeah, but it all comes down to this. Your Tide, for example, okay? When you go down, if you're looking for laundry detergent, it doesn't even have to have a label. When you see that orange bottle, you know what it is. It doesn't even have to have a Tide label. And that's what they're marketing, branding. Coke. It doesn't even have to say Coca-Cola, all it got little swishies on the side of it, and you know exactly what it is. Pepsi with the same thing. That's branding. They pay millions and millions of dollars so you can walk through the grocery store and go, hey, yeah, I need this. So it does start with the manufacturers. We do need to rethink how we're doing things, but we're still buying the material. We're still paying the money.
This is a small offering, but there is a company that makes laundry soap in pods that have no color and no dye. It comes in a brown cardboard box, and it works just as good as Tide. I've been getting it for a while. It's called DOPS, D-O-P-P-S. You can get it online. It's cheap. They send you a new box every 2 months, and completely 100% recyclable material.
Yeah, and that's all good, but how many people before you mentioned that knew about it?
Well, that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, three people, and that's the thing. Dobbs isn't spending millions and millions of dollars for you to buy their product, but Tide is.
Well, if 6 people in here start
Yeah.
buying DOPS instead of Tide, then, whatever.
What about the tape that comes on a lot of those? Because you get drops in recycle or cardboard container, but then the cardboard has tape on it. So is that
Rip the tape off and throw the tape in the garbage.
okay?
All right.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah, the thing with the plastic bags, and what a lot of people don't know about, and why they're getting, these are horrible. These are one of the worst things ever be invented. When they go through when they go through the recycling machine, they gum up the machine. And so now the entire process has to stop, and they have to get all this stuff out of the machine. The same thing with the landfill. When the graders and the composters or compactors run it over, these get sucked up into the air intake of the machine. They get wrapped around the axles of the machine. Machine breaks down, costs to fix them. We have to get all this stuff out. So these are garbage. These are, unfortunately, I don't know what else to do
And
with
then they
them.
get buried. What about styrofoam?
Styrofoam is not recyclable.
Well, I know that, but what happens to it?
It gets buried.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing to understand, is right now, in this area, it's either recyclable or trash.
But we can't put that in the trash, right?
You can put it in styrofoam?
Styrofoam?
Yeah, yes, yes. It goes in the trash. It doesn't go for recycling.
Could you sort of walk through some of those things? Because, like the bottle of herbicide, for example.
This is fine. Not full, which is.
Well, but if there's a little bit in there, or
It
it's
needs
all
to be-
dried up in there,
Yeah, it needs to be, used.
yeah.
This is a hazardous chemical, so if you're, I don't recommend you dumping it down the drain, I don't recommend you dumping it in the yard, but, some cities have a hazardous collection pickup day where you can bring all this stuff in, and they take care of it, but it's not cheap.
Well, my question is,
There we go.
what happens?
I think.
Yeah.
Say we're not careful. Say there's you clear out a house, and you got it one day to clean out the whole house full of junk. You throw it all in the dumpster, you pick up the dumpster, what happens to all those poisons?
Well, hopefully they don't catch the truck on fire, because when you mix certain
Yeah.
chemicals, we've had truck fires before, we've had landfill fires,
Well,
because of this
I
stuff.
know that, we shouldn't do that, but we do.
Yeah.
And none of that, bacteria, diapers, chemicals,
The laws in
immunization
Illinois,
fluid.
laws in Illinois are very vague. If you set something out on the curb, I have to take it. You can pretty much set anything out there, and I have to take it. Okay?
so antibiotics, the whole shebang.
Yeah. Now, we've
Then
got,
what happens?
republicsharps.com is a great way to get rid of all your medication, your needles, things like that. It's a direct to the resident program. You go online, republicsharps.com, and you order everything that you need. You pay for it there. We send it to you. You fill it up, and the U.S. Post Office comes back to get it, and then it's handled properly.
Some pharmacies have collections.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have needle drops.
Yeah.
Sometimes police departments do that
Yeah.
because they don't want the.
Yeah, and a lot of people,
So there are places to do things. It's just, you can't do the easy thing, throw it,
Correct.
flush it
Correct.
down the toilet or throw it in the.
and that's one of the reasons why companies like ours and a lot of other companies are going to carts where the driver doesn't handle the material. Because
Sure.
these guys reach in there and grab a bag, it's got a needle in it. We've had drivers get stuck. We've had drivers get cut because of glass when they're reaching in there, if they're not wearing their gloves. So that's why automation is really taking over.
So what if somebody puts an old can of paint? They're not supposed to. I've never done this ever in my entire life. But what if we have poisons in old paint cans? What happens?
If we find it, we take it out.
And if you don't find it?
If we don't, then it gets buried.
Um,
Now, paint cans, you can actually throw paint cans away, as long as the paint inside is either solidified, gone. If it's not, you can use kitty litter instead of the expensive oil dry, or you can use
Yeah.
oil dry. Just to make
Aerosol
sure-
cans.
Just to make sure it's solid.
Aerosol cans.
Aerosol cans, same way. You can throw them away. It's unfortunate, but you don't want to what we don't wanna do is tell people to take a screwdriver and put a hole in it. You know, if there's a way that you can safely drain them, then yeah, but aerosol cans,
Christmas tree lights,
Christmas tree lights, no, they are not recyclable.
so.
There are companies that if you, there's wire in them. This is all wire.
That's gotta be the electronics?
Yeah, it's electronics. It's got a plug, if it's got a plug on it, it's an electronic device. And electronic devices are banned in Illinois landfills. We literally can't pick them up. I mean, we do, we get unfortunate, you know, they get mixed in, like with the two people that I was talking about, they can throw garbage in it and
Yeah.
bury whatever they need to in it, and it goes and nobody ever sees
Well, I don't
it.
know anybody who's ever done this, but some people might take their stuff they don't know what to do with and put it in a dumpster that belongs to somebody else.
Really, I've never.
All right.
I got a call, this is years ago, I got a call from a business in LaSalle
Right.
that said, I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but over the weekend, somebody pulled an engine out of their car,
Put it in our
put the parts in my dumpster.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's my question though. I mean, I don't know what to, you know, I have inherited about 500 feet of Christmas tree lights. What do I do?
Decorate your barn.
They don't work.
There is an answer to that. Over this past year, and I believe it was OSF, there was a medical facility that was collecting Christmas lights. It ended January 10th, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there were drop-off places for Christmas lights, and they were recycling them. It was not very well advertised, but it is out there. Keep an eye out for it next year. I'm guessing that they got quite a response to that.
See, no.
Hang
yeah.
on, Rick,
Go
there's a
ahead.
couple people who had their hands up. Go ahead.
This is a little off topic, but when you were showing the China, the ships with the containers, but on the side, there was the ship with everything. You didn't mention that there were two pictures like that. It's what happens to those things, and they all go in the ocean.
Correct. Yeah, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad seas, stuff like that, you know, that's part of, you know, what our, you know, plastic island that's floating around and that. Yeah, that's unfortunate, that's what happens.
But that's a thing to make people aware that is what happens, is this stuff does all get dumped in the ocean.
Yeah, they said about, I think less than 9% of what we actually produce is actually recycled. About 9% of all the recyclables that we produce is actually recycled. You know, and it's because of costs, it's because of contamination. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it. So we just need to get better. You know, we need to get better.
I have another comment if I can. I read this morning and I can't find it now. It's either on CNN or the New York Times, an article about people who are aware, who are doing things like taking bamboo forks and spoons with them to McDonald's and not taking their plastic utensils. They've got metal straws and they don't take the straws. There are people, I mean, there are a couple of stores that only sell things that are not in plastic. You know, there's stuff, it takes a whole lot of effort. There are people who are making their own toothpaste.
Yeah.
Their own, you know, hair cleanser.
The more that we get the word out, you know, because when this first started, you know, the mainstream media wasn't picking it up at all. There were no stories on it.
Right.
You know, they were more worried about, you know, the latest girlfriend or whatever the heck was going on at the time, rather than this. Now, you're starting to see, I mean, all you have to do is look online and look at just the keywords, China recycling ban. You'll have numerous articles come up of what's going on, how it's affecting the world, not just the United States, but the world. It's things that are, you know, there is, and I don't mean to be the grim reaper of recycling, I apologize, but, you know, right now, recycling is you know, is technically a bad word, you know, simply because of what position we're in. You know, there are companies, there's a company called, I believe it's Nine Dragons in China, which is the largest Chinese recycling company out there in China. they've purchased about, I think, 4 or 6, I can't remember what, mills in the United States. Okay? I think there's a couple of them that are in Wisconsin, and that, so what they're basically gonna do is refire these mills, so we have someplace to take it, and then they're gonna ship it over to China in I believe pulp form, which is, you know, more cost effective. They're gonna do all the stuff. So the good thing about it, there is a tiny light at the end of the tunnel, but there is stuff being done, you know.
Jim?
Yeah, so you mentioned a few different streams that our waste goes into. One would be recycling, the other would be like landfill stuff. But like the chemical waste, you know, how does all that get processed and like all of the electronics, like the separation, like
The chemicals.
what other streams are there for different types of garbage? And
Well-
how do we access them?
Well, online is good, through your city or village, you can do it as well. Unfortunately, the chemicals, you know, unfortunately, that's, you know, there are avenues out there.
So like literally, we don't know what to do with them. Like that's pretty much what you're saying.
I hate to say that, and don't videotape me on that. But
Like
there are avenues, to answer your question, there are avenues that you can take to get rid of the material,
right.
okay?
And what are they?
It's just not, it's not cheap. You know, cities have events that, hazardous waste events, there's hazardous waste collectors out there that will provide the service for you. However, it's not cheap, you know.
And
So
we don't know where they're taking it.
Well, you know, you have to trust that they're doing it, they're doing it you know, ethically and that. But like I said, there are avenues out there, you just have to research them. And some communities, like I said, with the,
And so like any time that when you're in business and somebody comes to you and they say, I want to do this, and you're like, I don't do this, you should always give a referral.
yeah, we do.
So like.
Yeah, we've got companies, yeah.
So you've got a list on your website of referrals for companies that will take these other streams that your company doesn't?
There may be, I haven't done an exhaustive,
Okay.
you know, extensive on the chemicals as far as that.
Right.
But I know we do have companies that we partner with, that when cities have events, like the hazardous waste collection events, you know, that we do partner with, and they come in and you bring your material and then they recycle it.
Right. Because, I mean,
Properly.
like, there's a lot of people that, they wanna do the right thing with their garbage, and they try, and it keeps piling up while you're trying to figure out what you do with it, and then you have a garage full of everything, and then you're like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna clean it out this weekend, and you fill up your car, and you take it down to the transfer station, you pay, and you dump it out into the slimy place, you know?
Jim?
Yeah.
Sorry, Rockford and Naperville both have hazmat pickup sites, and they are extremely efficient, and you just pull up, and the guys in the white suits come, and they take it out of the back of your car, and they put it in, and they've got a very specific list, it's actually through the state of Illinois site, and they tell you exactly what they take, and how they take it, and what you need to do, but it's very easy and very straightforward.
Right.
And they charge you
No,
in Naperville?
no, well, they did not a year ago, I don't know if that's changed,
Yeah.
because things have changed.
But I mean, that's where it is, Rockford and Naperville.
Rockford and Naperville are the only two that I know of. I think there's one in southern Illinois, but those are the two that come up. And very easy to get to. And like I said, you drive in, they take care of it. They don't want you messing with it. You just go through. So, and they're like, they don't take latex paints, but they take all oil-based. They take the cleaning solutions that you don't know what to do with, and they're really, really good at it. So that is
Yeah.
another avenue for that kind of things. I'm going to ask, sorry Gene, I'll let you do your question, but then if we could just go back for a minute, we had some late arrivals, and we all had the questions about the electronics.
Okay.
After Gene's question, would you just go back and refresh again
Yeah.
what happens with electronics things?
Yeah.
There's a group called TerraCycle, and they recycle pens and pencils and juice boxes and all the things you wouldn't think you could recycle. And I know a church in Rock Island, Illinois collects it all, and then they get money. So,
Yeah, there are avenues out there, you know, for your little individual items, you know, however, there's not in this area, you have to do some research to find out who will take them and things like that, but you gotta get them there. So it's not just as easy, you can't just put this stuff out at the curb and expect
But it
to
is
be-
there.
There are outlets for this stuff, you just have to research them.
TerraCycle?
Yes,
Do they have a website?
yes, I just looked at it.
So, electronics, what was,
Just sort of question, because, you had talked about why we can't do keyboards, that you don't
well,
accept
yeah,
electronics.
just to kind of, recap, this is all made of plastic. The housing and the buttons and everything are recyclable. However, the material that's inside it is not. So the best thing to do is take this apart, snip the cord off or unscrew the cord, take the motherboard out, and then you can recycle this part. Okay, as long as but it needs to be taken apart. Okay. Same thing with your coffee maker. Take it apart. This is all of this is recyclable. Okay, this is small enough and manageable enough that it can be ground up and recycled. However, you have to take it apart. I don't want to dump it because there's coffee grounds in it. But yeah, there's a little bit of work involved in it, and that's why it's so costly to get rid of this stuff. Because, to my knowledge, they haven't come up with a machine to unscrew all of these screws and pull everything out. It's all manual labor, and manual labor is expensive.
So you take the electronics out, you save for the electronic day,
Correct.
and you recycle the rest.
Correct. Small pieces like this are manageable. They can go through the grinder and be, referred or reused.
What are the exact size limits of the grinder on what pieces can?
You're like this stuff. That's not that's actually rubber.
But what's
Um,
the
The exact
maximum
dimensions.
dimension?
The exact dimensions I couldn't tell you because I don't know how big. Each facility is. They have different size grinders.
Because
and able to-
if there's a specification, I can follow that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
So I
The
need to know that.
facilities that we take the recycling material to, and every other hauler does as well, are set up to handle your curbside stuff, the stuff that you produce, the stuff that you use in your home, like your plastic milk jugs.
So
your,
in the video you had, or the picture, you had a couple totes, and plastic totes.
Or a
That's-
5-gallon bucket, you said
$5
it's
buckets.
too
Those are
big.
too big.
correct.
Okay, so.
And if you notice, most of the 5-gallon buckets have the metal handle on them, so they can't go through the grinder.
And what if you beat the bucket apart into pieces, and then you beat off the wire and put it in a separate place?
What can we do?
If you smash it down and into manageable pieces, then yeah, you can throw it into recycling.
Just get a sledgehammer.
Get a sledgehammer, run it over the car, or, whatever.
Very
Yeah.
therapeutic.
We all want to be there when you do this.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm sorry, you had mentioned Galva before. They are still taking electronics, but they're no longer at no cost for
Correct.
households, but they're still taking them.
Correct. That's what they announced at the last board meeting that I was at that they attended.
Okay, and that's,
What is that?
it's in Galva, Paul Jacob's place. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Eagle.
Eagle
Yeah, I think,
Enterprises.
I think they, certain electronics they'll take for free, but I know for like bulky electronics, TVs and things like that, they're charging.
They are now, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
usually for household use, if it's simple electronics, they'll take them, but they used to have a contract with somebody in central Illinois that was sort of like a gateway system, and they would have people go through and basically take apart the pieces and work with them that way and recycle them that way.
Well, that was the same way with the facility in Dixon.
Yeah.
Dixon, they used that kind of help, those people to take everything apart, and it was good for them. It was good because they were making money, they were productive, and they were actually, enjoyed it, to a certain extent. But that labor wasn't free anymore, and the state took away a lot of the funding for them to do it, so they had to shut it down.
Just,
White microwaves.
They won't take them at, any of the recycling events in town. So we have had a white microwave for like 10 years, and we don't know where to take it.
Why won't they take a white microwave?
They won't take white appliances.
Well, white goods
that
aren't,
was-
white
yeah.
goods, yeah, white goods aren't accepted in landfills
Right.
and that, but you should be able, like an electronics
Mhm.
event, you should be able to take, cause we've taken them before.
Okay, at the electronics events in Princeton, they will not take.
Have you taken it out to the steel recycler guy out on Back Road Road?
You paint it blue.
Just.
That's all right.
Orange.
Some of that spray paint.
There is a guy who takes all the white goods and the steel things, the metal things out on Back Road Road.
Yeah, what's he
Okay.
do?
Yeah, if you
And
take
what does he
the,
do with it?
I don't, a lot of it's scrap stuff, I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
it's like, what does he do with the Freon, you know?
Yeah.
as long as you take the, you know, the motherboard out, the electronic piece, or the door, take the door off or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, I would assume that a metal recycler would, I
Yeah.
don't know why you wouldn't take it, cause it's metal.
I think with the white goods, the big thing is the Freon
Yeah.
that's in them, so like,
Yeah.
they probably just have a zero tolerance on white goods.
Yeah.
And to prevent any sort of hassles with hazardous waste.
Yeah, I think we've tried to take it in a load, and they've denied it. They won't take them. So
Yeah.
that's just.
Yeah, break it down, get the transformer, sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, there's a lot of good transformers in
Yeah.
those microwaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put an antenna on it and advertise it as an alien microphone.
Yes.
Maybe you might get somebody from Roswell to buy it.
No, I mean, like, there's a lot of copper windings and like the ability to repurpose.
And that's to get back to the question, I mean, you know, to recycle that stuff, it's all manual labor. It takes time to take these apart, so the costs, you know, it's not very cost effective to recycle them because of the manual labor and that, so. And the returns just aren't there anymore.
So what we can actually say is that recycling is a wonderful thing, but we need to work at it a little harder, not just take it for granted. So we can thank Jim for coming this morning.
Thank you.
I'm sure he will answer more questions if anybody wants to come up and say hi. But thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. We will be hosting candidates forums through the month of March, and we will get that information out for our upcoming election for the mayor and the city council. And that's it from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.